Yes, Keisha Cole with Trust and Believe. I still can't believe they released two songs with the same beat. But anyways, both songs are hot. So shout out to Keisha Cole. That's from her new album, Woman to Woman. It is TKIF Thank Kemp. It's Friday here on KEMPIRERadio.com. Don't forget, guys, to link everyone to tonight's show. And if you want to weigh in on whatever we're talking about, hit us up on Twitter at KEMPIRE Radio or our Facebook, facebook.com/KEMPIRE Radio. This next guy has been here on the show before. It's just so excited about his career and what's going on for him. He came here the first time with his book, One Drop Too White. And it just stirred conversations that I feel that we just needed to have. And now he's venturing out and doing writing, directing, and producing his own web series. Please welcome for the I think it's like the third time he's been here on the show. Here's Mike Mose.
What's up, man? Thanks for that good introduction, man. Appreciate you having me here.
No problem, Mike. First of all, congratulations on all the success of One Drop Too White, and you turned that into a web series, webisodes, right?
Yes, I've read about 4 webisodes based off my book. It's not exactly like my book, but it's based off my book, trying to get my ideas across.
Why exactly did you decide to say, you know what? Because I know you did the play, because you came back here on the show and you talked about doing the play down there in Atlanta, and then you ventured off and doing these webisodes. Why exactly did you decide to do the webisodes?
Because I'm an independent author, and so I had to find a way to get support for my product without having to go through mainstream. So I decided to start writing webisodes based off my book and based off current and political issues, and put it in the webisode to, I guess, to promote my book, to draw more attention from it. And it has helped. I'm recently, I got accepted in the Morehouse curriculum, and now I'm in, and now I'm trying to get accepted in a few public schools right now. I'm in talks with that, so it's been helping bring awareness and attention to everything.
Wow,
that's
huge.
why I started.
That is huge.
Thank
That's
you.
huge. Congratulations. Again, we're going to be posting links so you guys can actually get a copy of One Drop Too White. Really, really, really great book, and really great conversation starter for a book club or whatever it may be. But Mike, now you're venturing off. And I tweeted this before. You are reminding me of the beginnings of a Tyler Perry. Now you're venturing off in this new web series called The Death of Monogamy. You have a way with titles, don't you?
Gotta get people's attention, man.
Yeah, what in the hell is this about?
I call it a dramedy. It's like comedy and drama. I try to make it a little sitcomish too, but it's pretty much just real conversations and just, I wouldn't say conversations because it's like a sitcom, but the things that go in on it is kind of like modern day behavior and conversations and actions of our generations. Some people believe in monogamy, some people don't. Most of our parents were divorced. Some people don't believe it's natural for one man to be with one woman. Some believe monogamy is something that was made up to control the population. And, we go into the Bible, to the people, the leaders of the Bible who, had monogamy issues and committed adultery and had kids outside the marriage and things like that. And all these I put inside a webisode sitcom series to kind of just bring them to the forefront, because I feel like nobody really talks about these things, and they're kind of issues that are behind closed doors that people are afraid to really voice out publicly because they don't want to be scrutinized, which I have been, by the way, since I came out with the webisode.
Well, it's really interesting because the very first time you came here on the show, you started a conversation that a lot of people didn't have, and now you're starting another conversation that people don't have. You just mentioned that a lot of people have had opinions about your web series, The Death of Monogamy. What have people been saying?
Well, for one, I want to say that I'm not against monogamy or anything like that. I'm just pretty much repeating stories. Everything in my webisode are real conversations and topics that people have told. There's nothing that I really invented and started up. But I begin to say that because I've been talking to a lot of different guys. We talked about marriage, monogamy, girlfriend, boyfriend. And I ran across a lot of guys that I talked to. Not too many weren't monogamous with their wives or with their girlfriends. And it's funny because a lot of women say, oh, men are stupid, they get caught, they cheat. But a lot of men are very good. And same with women, too. I ran across a lot of women who really didn't feel strongly about monogamy. But then I ran across people who did and vice versa. So these are all kind of, issues that I kept hearing about, but nobody was really talking about. So the guy who thinks that it's not natural for one man to be with one woman, he wouldn't tell his girlfriend or soon-to-be wife that. He would just perpetuate as if he believes that's true, and then behind closed doors, he'll go do what he did. And, I have also, woman stories of, women, oh, I love you, baby, I'm with you, and blah, blah, blah. And then the guy, let me back up for a little bit. A small story, a guy said he met a girl, had a one-night stand with her. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he woke up the next morning to her on the phone saying, oh, I love you, baby. I had a great time with my girlfriends. I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to meet you for breakfast, et cetera, et cetera. And so these are the stories out here over and over again. And so now I'm just taking those stories and putting it in the webisodes. I didn't mean to be too talky, man. My bad.
No problem. That's perfect. That's talking for me. But Mike, why did you decide? You started out as an author. You started doing the webisodes for One Drop Too White, and now you're doing this new web series called The Death of Monogamy. Why did you decide to have this conversation, and why did you want to turn it into this this web series?
Well, because it was just something that just kept coming up, in whether it be my personal dating life or just with the conversations I would have with men or women, and it's something that really hit home for me, personal. And when I say this, I don't want people to think I'm judging the Bible or I'm not a down in Christianity, because I myself, I do go to church, I do practice Christianity, but what really hit home for me, I guess a lot of people, I guess when they were raised in the church, and it's like, oh, committing adultery is a sin, you're doing this is a sin, doing that is a sin, and then we grow up and got older and realized, like in my webisode, it says, Father Abraham was supposed to be the father of mankind in the Old Testament. He cheated on his wife with his maid, and was potentially the first, baby daddy, what you call it, at that time. And I say it not to be respectful, but before they hit home, like that really happened. Yeah. But they didn't tell me that. But that's in the King James Bible. I didn't make that up. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting it from Google. That's in the Bible, And so and things like that. Then the guy's talking about, well, why did because a lot of it was stemmed from religion and a Christian standpoint. So the guy's like, well, if King Solomon was the wisest man in the Bible, why did he have 400 wives? And God called him the wisest man in the Bible. And some of them like, well, I'm confused about why he's the wisest man, but he also had 400 wives. And it says it was a lot, So a lot of people conversations, it gets confused and thrown around. That I've met with women who think that all men do cheat. And some women will not tolerate men cheating, but the women who do, some of them tolerate it and they'll let it go on, but they're okay as long as their man take care of them or buy them expensive gifts or not keep it or not embarrass them in public and things like that. And I discuss those in my webisodes. And these are all things that I've heard, I've talked about with men and women that I was wanting to bring to the forefront, because people are kind of afraid to kind of go there with the Bible or stuff like that. I'm not really afraid. I'm just telling you what it says. I read that, so it really messed me up when I read it, because I feel like people in church kind of hid it from me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hold on. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe in it, but why are you hiding this from me as if it's something worth hiding? So that's where it kind of all comes from. It all stems from.
The big question, I think a lot of our listeners, if you guys just tuned in, I'm here with Mike Mose, author of One Drop Too White, and now the director-producer of this new web series, The Death of Monogamy. A lot of people have this big question, and you ask it to men, you ask it to women, and you receive a variety of different answers. And I have heard a lot of people say that they don't believe that monogamy is possible. What does Mike Mose think about that?
I really think it's based on it's on an individual basis. Because I can't. I've ran into men who, like, I love my wife. I would never cheat on her. I met those, not a lot, but I met. I'm just being honest, and I get criticized for being honest. I think I've met 2 or 3 guys like that. Mm-hmm. So I like to say everybody. I like to say everybody's like that. Mm-hmm. But I met a couple guys like that who would never cheat on their wife. And the main reason why these guys won't cheat on their wife, from what they told me, because they're afraid of going to hell. It wasn't necessarily because they were just that strong and like, oh, I'm just that strong. Will they felt it was the wrong thing to do? They'll be committing to sin,
so
and that they were going to hell.
So if there was no fear of hell, they would be screwing.
I'm not saying that. I just found it interesting. Like, so if I'm with the woman, if I decide not to be with the woman, another woman, it's going to be because I love her, and what I have isn't worth it. It wouldn't be because it's a sin is going to hell. It's because I love my woman and I'm gonna stay with her, and I'm not gonna leave her for somebody else or play around. That's the answer that I guess I would look for.
Yeah.
But I mean, to each his own. I'm not judging. I think I'm being critical of any because all religions kind of preaches monogamy. So that's not an attack. I don't feel a certain way. I'm again just putting down the thoughts in the visual matter that from what people tell me. And so
what can people expect from this new web series? Because you know people love the ratchetness. Is there any ratchetness? Because if you're not being with the name Death of Monogamy, we're expecting it to be a little bit ratchet.
I mean, it's a taste for no ratchetness. I say to it. It's just not, we meet it somewhere, we're going to start cursing and fighting each other like you might see in a reality show. It's just real conversations, this is what I dislike sometimes. Like, okay, like, this is cursing in the episode, which I do bleep out. It's graphic conversations, but these are conversations we have behind closed doors. I know all the people who don't curse in public and private, it might be a different type of scenario. So I'm trying to bring these private conversations into the public light on screen, because everybody, which could be ratchet. Because I mean, I've met with people who might not, that's just my take on it. So I wouldn't call it ratchet at all. It's very tasteful. It's more comedic than anything else. I'm just trying to get a dialogue started between both sexes on monogamy. I'm not against it. I love to hear people's feedback, their opinions. And so I think if you bring it out in the open and more men and women talk about it, it can be a solution that can come between a partner. Not saying that they have to accept a person cheating, but if you put issues out in the open, it allows for open discussion where men or women don't feel like they have to hide, their beliefs or how they feel, which I think just kind of makes people want to lie to each other. And then, your reality is played with, man. In the end, you're going to end up hurt anyway.
So I know you mentioned that you really wanted to get a dialogue started, and I'm sure the dialogue has already started. I'm sure in the chat room they're talking about this, and I'm sure people that are listening are already talking about this. And it's always, it's a big hot topic in regards to monogamy, and if it's, possible. What have women been saying to you in regards to the web series?
They've been. That's why they're the reason why I make it very clear that I'm not against monogamy, because are you against monogamy? Monogamy isn't dead. Maybe it's on life support. Life support. Yeah. So, they can't believe that it's true. Here's my standpoint on the women, and man, you bring it out of me, Kemp. I really don't talk about this even in public, man. But I just realized that women don't believe a lot of things that I've written about or things that I said, and they have to realize that most men who feel this way aren't going to go tell you, I don't believe in monogamy or I don't cheat on my girl. Why? Because then they can't get with you. And then they say, I have male friends who are different or are like that. My response is, I have friends who lie to their female friends about being monogamous because if they ever want to get with their friend, they don't want them thinking that they're a dog.
Oh, are we telling the secrets?
I've been attacked, man. I was like, I'm not going against it. My brother, I have a brother who he was a virgin when he got married, and he was monogamous with his wife. So I know it's possible, and I'm not against it. But I'm just saying it's a lot of things that aren't talked about in public that behind closed doors are talked about, and I think some people are fooling themselves about the people they date and what they believe, and things like that. I don't want to get. I'm gonna get in trouble, man. That's why I try not to talk too much.
No, that was your whole point of doing the web series, was to get the conversation started.
I usually try to censor myself, but for you, I'm gonna try to give it all to you.
Real talk with a real host with real guests. We need to talk about it. But I think it's really important. And the thing is, and the reason why I think it's so important that we be honest, especially with women, on when it comes to the way men view things. It's because you become fake people amongst each other. Instead of really being honest, like, this is how I feel about this particular topic. You say, oh no, yeah, all men can be monogamous, or not men. Men wouldn't do. I feel like you have to be real. You have to say, you know what? Well, this is the way men talk when you are not around. Because, like I said before, you start to become fake to each other. It may not seem like fake. It may seem like you're trying to spare a woman's feelings, but sometimes women need real talk.
Yeah, and I'll grab the story, man. I'm probably telling on somebody again, but I had this one viewer who is such a proponent of monogamy on the internet, and a lot of women were following him. Yeah, you're right. And I know this guy. He is not monogamous. He tries to fuck the girls all the time. But he's saying a lot of good stuff, and this girl's like, yeah, right on. Like, what you're saying is great. And I know this guy personally, and I'm like, wow.
He's like the modern day Hitch.
Yes, and they're liking it, and, retweeting them and all types of stuff. Wow. And I'm like, I know you. And so, yeah, I was really surprised. I was like, wow. And what he said made sense. He was convincing me, of what he was talking about, and I know he wasn't like that. So it's kind of scary.
I'm envisioning another episode of Death of Monogamy.
So what?
I'm envisioning a new episode of Death of Monogamy. That could be a great one.
Oh yeah. Thanks. That is another. that is another one, man.
If you guys just I'm here with Mike Mose, author of One Drop Too White, and now director, producer, writer of this new great web series. It's called The Death of Monogamy. And where can people see your webisodes in this web series?
You can go to YouTube and type in The Death of Monogamy, and then this is just see it pop up webisode number 1. I'm not sure when number 2 is coming out. I'm in LA right now, currently working on the pilot to shoot for it, because a lot of people end up liking the concept and what's going on with the webisode.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So I'm trying. So it's nothing's guaranteed, but I'm trying. I'm trying, man.
That's all it takes, Mike. That's all
I do want to say one more thing regarding to the ladies who came at me or attacked me. I had a few start asking me for relationship advice. And I'm like, look, I'm not no expert. You don't want me to be an expert because I can't sugarcoat it for you. Because you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the real answer. Mm-hmm. So that's been another kind of interesting thing that women have really been messaging me about men advice. And I don't feel right, telling on, I don't want to say too much. But
it seems every time Mike comes here, he starts a conversation that I feel like, Mike, you have to come back so we can continue this conversation as the web series develops and all of that greatness. But I think it's a great conversation. Can men really be monogamous? I know women can, but not all women. But I know that women can. But I thought it was really great, some of the things that you brought up, that some men will say to their female friends in hopes that maybe one day.
Yeah. No,
but that goes back to our question that a couple of weeks ago we asked the question: can men and women really, truly, without a doubt, be just friends? You say?
Be just for you know what? At first, I didn't think it was. I've only had. I'm gonna tell on myself. I'm gonna be honest. I'll tell women this too. I've purposely been friends with women and said I was friends with them just so I can get with them. And I did that. I wouldn't do that now, but in my younger days, and I'm sure some guys still do it, I absolutely certainly did it. Oh yeah, we friends. I don't like her the whole time. I'm trying to get with her, Wow. And and I had one female friend.
Does it usually work?
Huh?
Does it usually work?
Oh, it did because the girls always believe the guys are really their friends, But I've had in college, I've had one female friend, my homegirl Sarah, who I never liked. So I think it is possible that it is possible. But I think it's rare. And I just, she reminded me too much of my mom, so I didn't like her. But I think it's rare, man.
If
But
she
I don't know.
Your mama, it'd be a whole
Yeah,
nother
too
thing.
much. No, just too much. Look, too much like her, man. Nah. But I promise you, I'm gonna have one friend. On the other friends, I can honestly say that I lied to. I wanted to get with them the whole time. So,
Mike, it's always great having you here on the show. Let everybody know where they can follow you and everything that's going on with you. And also, we'll be posting where they can purchase the book and see the web series on our social media. But let everyone know where they can follow you.
okay. You can follow me at I am Mike Mose on Twitter. Mike Mose spelled MikeMose. Or you can like my author's page on Facebook, which is just Mike Mose, MikeMose.
And make sure you guys, Mike is definitely great at starting conversations that get everyone going. And we would love to hear from you guys.
Get me in trouble, man.
Hit him up on Twitter again and let him know what you thought about this interview. But also hit us up on our Facebook, facebook.com/KEMPIRE Radio, and let us know your thoughts. Is monogamous possible, especially for men? And can men and women truly be friends? Mike Mose weighed in, and we want to hear what you guys think as well. It is TKIF Thank Him It's Friday. Thank you to Mike. We're going to jump into some music, and we'll be right back.
Gotta say one more time, I'm not against monogamy. I'm not against monogamy. I want everybody to know that.
We are.
I didn't say that. All right. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That was perfect, but